All right, let's draw some bricks in 2-point perspective. I'm going to add bricks to this building. You can see I already have some windows and a door just because it wouldn't really make sense for your building to be completely bricks with no windows or doors. So I'm going to start by doing the bricks on the left side of my building, so left of that center corner. So since I'm working on the left side of the building, I'm also going to be using the left side vanishing point. So I think I'm going to start by just making a couple marks. I don't know what that distance is. It looks like maybe a half of a centimeter apart. So just this distance is showing the space in between our rows of bricks. So we don't want it so tiny that we can't work, but we also don't want it huge so that the bricks are like gigantic. So I'm going to line up my ruler with my left side vanishing point, and I'm going to draw a line from that tick mark towards the vanishing point. So on all of these marks, I'm going to connect this point to the left side vanishing point on the left side. So I put my pencil back on my ruler, line it up, and then every time that I draw a line, I put my pencil back to my vanishing point so that I can keep sort of rotating my ruler to draw these left side lines. You can see that the angle of the line changes. So as we go farther down past the horizon line, the angle sort of starts to angle up. So they're not all perfectly straight lines. So I'm going to pause and I'm going to do that on the opposite side, but I'm going to use the right side vanishing point. So at those same points, I'm going to match it up so that the right side vanishing point also matches with those ticks that I just made. All right, so now I have those lines that go towards my right and left vanishing point. Now I'm going to add vertical lines that show the bricks. So make sure your ruler is truly vertical. And a quick way to do this is I'm going to decide how wide I want my brick to be. So it's right, that distance makes sense to me. I don't want it to be such a teeny tiny brick, and I don't want it to be like gigantic that it wouldn't make sense. But that makes sense to me. So I'm going to draw a vertical line in between every other space. I think I'll do this one. So that is like starting my bricks. I skipped a line. So I did a line on the first, and then I skipped the second, and so on. I'm going to do that again, staying on the same line. So again, I'm going to draw about a brick's distance away. I'm going to draw another vertical, and I'm going to do that on every line that I previously did it on. So then right now what I've added are bricks to every other line. But if you know anything about how bricks are laid out, is that they sort of are staggered to make so that it's stronger. So I'm going to find the middle of this first line, so right in the middle here. And then that's where I'm going to add a line on the opposite. Making sure I'm getting a little confused here. On the opposite line. So you can see I now went on the second line and the fourth and so on. So I'm going to move about a brick's distance away. And now I'm going to add the rest of those lines. Let's see. I think one more would make sense over here. Just making sure that you're only adding it to every other line. So there's one way to do it to add the verticals. If that's too confusing for you, you can also just always come back in and add, make sure your line's truly vertical, add one row of bricks at a time, and then you just come back and add a line in the middle of every brick. So in the middle of every brick, I'm adding a vertical, and then let's go down here, start again. In the middle of every brick, I add a vertical line. So we still have that staggered pattern. It's just working a little bit slower. All right, so that's how you add bricks in 2-point perspective.